Yeah, I think my slide is visible from your side.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today I'm going to discuss about very brief idea about on different sources, means different artificial sources. In my last class, I discussed about what are the different types of artificial sources of light. Today only few slides are there about the basic discussions about different sources of light. Then we can conclude this module, means module of illuminations. In the next class we can start the next module, okay, means another module. Okay, so in my last class I discussed about there are three categories, that is temperature incandescents, second one is that electrodes concept, incandescent electrode, and third one is a discharge lamp. Okay, that three categories are there. Okay, so based on the different types of source, what about the luminous efficiency? We can one table is there. From there we can understand. Okay, so typical luminous efficiency and the sources. Okay, so where we know that incandescent bulbs are there, so that is 8 to 18. Okay, that is lumen per, that is luminous efficiency from the bulb. Then fluorescent lamp, okay, so that having 46 to 60 lumen efficiency. So as per their efficiency, so we can use those bulb in our different applications. Okay, then here we can see that mercury vapor lamp, okay, it having still 44 to 57 lumen per watt. Okay, then CFL, that is 40 to 70. Then sodium vapor lamp means low pressure or LPSV, that portions are there, that is 101 to 175 lumen per watt. Okay, that's the basic concepts, means that applications. Okay, so here you know that efficiency means lumen per watt is more in sodium vapor lamp than sodium vapor lamp with high pressures, or HP means high pressure sodium vapor. Okay, that is low pressure, so its efficiency means lumen per watt is quite less. Okay, so as per your application you can as per your application you can design that points in different segment. Then metal halides, different metal halides are there. Okay, so that efficiency is means halide lamps, means halogen, you know that ones. Okay, so that lumen per watt is 60 to 80. Then LED lamps, okay, it having lumen is more, that is 30 to 50. Then best LED, so it is 105. Okay, so different tables are provided. Okay, so based on your applications, okay, total typical lumen efficiency, we can design what types of light sources are there. Based on it we can design. Okay, so here you can see that one basic structure of the sodium vapor lamp. Okay, so here you know that supply is given, that is a choke coil, then capacitor, then transformer for heating electrodes. Okay, basically that sometimes normally in fluorescent lamp what happen, we are using some inductor in choke coil for providing that huge voltage, okay, very high voltage across the electrode, that may discharge, means that may cause for ionizations of that beam. Okay, here we are using that transformer for heating electrodes. Then outer tubes are there, that is your inner tube. Okay, both the tubes, and it is your electrode, so due to heated, you know that one, due to heating. Okay, so then flowing of the electrons, okay, if the flowing of the electrons, so a reverse direction that current will be flow. Okay, based that way it will work. Okay, so here we can see the basic one. So what is sodium vapor lamp? So from the definition we can see the structure of the sodium vapor lamp. Okay, one capacitor is there, so that can maintain that input power factor. Okay, choke coils also be there, both the cases. Okay, so sodium vapor, what is sodium vapor, has the highest theoretical luminous efficiency. So you know that one sodium vapor lamp having more luminous efficiency, that is, you know that 175 degree, 175. Okay, so gives the monochromatic orange yellow light. Okay, it's an orange yellow light. Monochromatic light makes the object to gray on account which of these lamps are usually for the street and highway lighting. So you know that application is street lighting and the highway lighting. Okay, the lamp this lamp consists of discharge tube having the special compositions of glass. Okay, withstand the high temperature of electric discharge. Okay, so you can, I think you are able to understand, the discharge tube is surrounded by outer tube shown in the figure. So here you know that outer tube is there. So discharge, after the discharge tube, so outer surface is given. Okay, for heating the cathode a transformer is included sodium below the 60 degree in a solid state. Okay, so below 60 it is solid state. At temperature is more than 60, so it will be vaporized. Okay, and very chemically active elements. Okay, for starting the lamp of the electric discharge is allowed to take place in the neon gas. The temperature inside the discharge tube rise and the vaporize sodium. Okay, that may reason for vaporizing the sodium. Outrating the temperature is around 300 degrees centigrade. It takes about 10 minutes for the sodium vapor to displays the red color of the neon by its own yellow color. Okay, so that's the way the lamp takes around half an hour to reach the full output, and the choke is provided for the stabilizing the electric discharge, and the capacitor power factor is improvement. So I am telling you before that capacitor is used for the power factor improvement. Also the theoretical efficiency is 475 lumen per watt. Okay, so it is your efficiency lumen per watt. The practical light around 40 to 50 lumen per watt. Okay, the HPSV lamps are used for lighting the public. That means that through fairs, then storage yard, okay, open airs, work site, process plants, so interior with the high ceiling height. So all those cases you can use the sodium vapor lamp. I think all of you are able to understand. So very simple and informative ideas are there behind that vapor lamps. Okay, sodium vapor. Then we are discussing about the mercury vapor lamp. Okay, so in case of mercury vapor lamp, so same kinds of things is there, but instead of sodium you are using the mercury. Okay, so construction is more or less similar to the sodium vapor lamp. So that construction is given here. Here you know that supply, then capacitor, then choke coil. The transformer is not present here. Then outer tube, electrodes, then discharge tube. Okay, all are there. Okay, so here we can see that cap, steam, that resistor, that starting electrode, fluorescent coating. So all those things are present here. Okay, the electrodes are the tungsten coil containing and the electron emitting material. Okay, so tungsten lamps are there, so that may cause for electron emitting material, which may be the small piece of thorium or an oxide mixture. Okay, so it's an oxide mixture. The argon is introduced to help the start of the lamps. Okay, so argon normally using for help start of the lamp. Okay, the electric discharge first take place argon, then the vaporize of the mercury drop inside the discharge tube. Okay, electrons emitting the materials supply electrons for the maintaining the arc. So arc will be maintained by, if the electron is coming there, so definitely arc will be maintained there. Okay, the space between two bulbs is filled with an inert gas. Okay, so the pressure inside of the discharge tube may range from 1 to 10 atmospheric. Lamp use the lighting purpose. Okay, so both the cases you are using for the lighting purpose. As these pressures, the radiation is in the visible spectrum. Also the theoretical efficiency is 298 lumen per watt. So that efficiency also be given, that normally you know that 20 to 30 lumen per watt, that I am telling you before. The tungsten filament lamp also practically efficient 10 to 20 lumen per watt. So compared to them, so it is more. Okay, theoretical efficiency 143 lumen per watt. Here also theoretical efficiency 298 lumen per watt, but practically that efficiency is quite less. Okay, basically it happens by the natural, why it will be less, basically that natural properties of that lamps, that's why it is going to be less. Okay, so HPMV lamps are used to lighting the secondary road, car parking, parks, garden, and factory sheds, etc. So you can understand. So while it is implemented, okay, so different public areas. Okay, so we are using the mercury vapor lamps. Okay, the last and most the important portion is that fluorescent lamps. Okay, so you know that basic idea of the fluorescent lamps. So based on that chemical compositions, the light color will be changed. Okay, so if it is zinc silicate, so it will be green. Okay, calcium tungstate, so it will be blue. Then cadmium borate, it will be pink. Then calcium holophosphate, it will be white of various shade. Magnesium tungsten, it will be bluish white. So as per your applications, as per your chemical compositions, the color has changed. In the mercury vapor lamp, the considerable amount of radiation in the ultraviolet range. Okay, so mercury vapor lamp, the basic problem is that you're getting some considerable amount of ultraviolet radiations. Okay, that is not good for our health. Okay, by the coating of the inside tube of the phosphor, these ultraviolet radiations is converted in the visual light. Okay, that's the basic advantage for using the fluorescent lamp. Phosphors have the definite characteristics of color, but when mixing together, they produce a large variety of the color. These phosphors are the stable compounds gives the high output throughout the life of the lamp. Okay, the colors of the fluorescent produce the various phosphors given below. So that I have already discussed what type of phosphors you are using for different types of color. Okay, so different colors you can see here. The tungsten electrode preheated type of fluorescent lamp. Okay, so tungsten electrodes are there, that will be preheated fluorescent lamp. This type, the electrodes are produced by thermic emissions. Lower starting and opening voltage are adequate. The tungsten voltage of 600 to 300 to 600 volt applied by the starter initiates the arc stream. The cathode, which are coated with the emitting material, loss in a little bit of this material every time of the lamp is started. The you can understand that coating is there, so impacts of the electron on the cathode of the disloaded some of the emitting materials. Okay, so that based on your basic fundamental thing is very simple. So you are heating that materials. Okay, tungsten cathode is there, so electron emission will be there. That emission electrode will be give a effects on that phosphors, and that may provide you or produce some of the color. Okay, that is not the chemical changes, it's a physical changes. Okay, so as it is, if you remove that sources or supply, it will be as it is own color. Okay, there will be no changes of the color. Okay, so the efficiency, basically what is the important thing, efficiency of the mercury vapor lamp. Okay, so hence the temperature, so the tube for the light productions. Okay, but in this case the below temperature is 10 degrees surrounding. Okay, so efficiency temperature in compare if you compare with the form of temperature, so that is more in case of tungsten lamp. Okay, better in efficiency. Okay, fluorescent lamps of the flicker. Okay, and the Soberstory effects, since 50 hertz supply, they are extinguished 100 times in a second. Okay, simple lamps cannot be operated without flicker. So flicker is maintained. Okay, flicker will be blinking like that. Initially, the blinking. So flicker corrections can be applied of the pair of lamps. So it depends upon your temperature. Means sorry, voltage supply applied voltage on it. Radio interference, another important problem. Another effects is another effect to produce the fluorescent lamp, and has to be removed by suitable flicker circuit. Okay, the circuit is required. The starter of the automatic starting switch is at the two types, the thermal types. Okay, another is the blow discharge type. Two types are there. The thermal starter has heater coil which heats the bimetallic strips. The heater coils remain energized to keep the bimetallic switch open throughout the operations of the lamp. It should be consume the small amount of power, that I am telling first. So efficiency is more compared to your other illuminating lamps. Okay, so another important point, so some operating principles are given here. So that portions I think you are always already know. So what is the purpose of the starter? Then switch is closed. Here you know that electrodes. Okay, you are giving the supply. Okay, supply is there. So then you know that voltage. Okay, voltage developed by the choke ballast. Okay, that voltage will be developed. Okay, then high voltage will be there. So okay, thermal starters are there. Sometimes it is there, sometimes it is not there. So here you can see the basic operations of that interference suspension on a fluorescent lamp using the glow starters. Normally we are observe in our home. So glow starters options. Okay, so choke or ballast coils are there that provide you very high voltage. Okay, so that is coming across your electrodes. Okay, two electrodes are there coming across to the lamp, sorry, that air, sorry, that beam. Okay, so it will passing through that, it is passing through the it is passing through, sorry, the starter is connected across of your two electrodes. Okay, that high voltage may cause for that sorry, then there is a bimetallic strip. Okay, there is a bimetallic strip in the capacitor, so high voltage will be provided, then it will be part connected. Okay, then huge, it is shorted, so high voltage will be provided there. Then what happen if it will be ionized, that field will be ionized. Okay, when it will be ionized, so it will be the minimal resistance path, so there will be no current through this path. Okay, then what happen, the current electron will be flow this way. Okay, if it is flowing this way, sorry, this is bimetallic strip. Okay, not this one, this is bimetallic strip. Okay, so initially that will be heated. Okay, some voltage will be appeared, heated and connected. Okay, then the current will flow, that circuit will be closed. Okay, then capacitor means starter will be there, provide that input power, the power factor improve purpose for this one. Okay, for this switch. Okay, also maintain that voltage, how much that voltage is there. Okay, so that is important, that's why the importance of the starter, so that's why it is known as a starter. Okay, this is your starter circuit. So if it is current is flowing, sorry, ionization will be there, so current also been flowing, and due to the flowing of the electrons, so phosphor will be glowing and it can emit some light. Okay, after certain time, then if the line will be connecting, okay, then it will be continuous. Okay, so that's the basic concepts of the fluorescent lamp. Okay, so tungsten fluorescent lamp and their applications. Okay, I think all of you will to understand. Okay, so there is a basic comparison. Okay, there is some basic comparison between the different light source. Okay, so you know that configurations are there. So the given in the comparison, given in the incandescent lamp. Okay, they have the instantaneous start. Okay, and become the momentarily off when the supply goes off. The color of the lights are very near and the natural light. Their initial cost of installation is minimal, but their running cost is maximum. Okay, so that is important, that work accurately for both DC and AC supply. The frequent switching does not affect the life of the operations. Okay, so minimal installation cost, maximum running cost, and the life of operation not affected by the frequent switching, switcher and switch of that one. So working life is more than 1000 hour and luminous efficiency is 12 lumen per hour. Okay, since there is a no stroboscopic effect, so that incandescent lamps suitable for domestic, industrial and the street lighting and the flood lighting applications. Okay, they are available in the wide range of voltage rating, hence used in automobiles, trains, emergency light, aeroplanes and signals for the railways. Okay, so that's the important applications that I have already discussed. Okay, that is incandescent lamp. Then fluorescent lamp that I have already discussed, so it may be also work for 12 volt for DC into AC. So then that is 4000 hours and luminous efficiency 40 lumen per watt. But in mercury vapor lamp, that is applicable for 300 hours and efficiency is 40 lumen per hour. Both the efficiencies more or less same. But in case of sodium vapor lamps, you know that is working lifespan is 3000 hour and efficiency is 60 to 70 lumen per watt. Okay, so starting time is 5 to 6 minutes they goes up and cannot be restarted with the recovery voltage, they will fall the normal value. Okay, take 5 to 6 minutes for the starting, go off, cannot be restarted at the recovery time. So there is some problem of the recovery times. Okay, so that portions I have already discussed. Okay, so you can go through this one. Okay, and you can understand that simple portions what you need to do. Okay, so that initial cost for that is maximum, running cost is minimum, that I have already been discussed about it. Okay, so simple things are there. So comparisons with different sources of light, artificial sources of light, that is important for our study. Okay, and at the time of exam, such type of question may become as a form of short note. Some questions are given here. Okay, so you can follow this question for maybe some at the time of exam, some questions of this kind of pattern may come on it. Okay, so constructions of the different working of the sodium vapor lamp or mercury vapor lamp or fluorescent lamp or incandescent lamp. Okay, so any of them may come. So explain the various factor of the illumination, so that been discussed what are the important factors. Okay, short notes on the polar curves. Okay, that portion I have already discussed. Then definitions. Okay, so definitions, important definitions, lumen, candle power, MECP, so that also been discussed. Derive the relationship between the phase angle and the solid angle. Okay, that some expressions are there, you can find out in that portion. I have not been, I have missed maybe. Okay, that is you can get it any of the common books. Okay, reference books for it. Okay, so with the help of the neat sketch, explain the working principle of the mercury vapor lamp, compare with the same with the other lamps. Same thing, explain the working principle of the fluorescent lamp, which type of lighting fittings is used for a selections for a sections having the hazardous chemical in the factory. Means different applications, that is application based question. Give a list of different types of lamp available in the market, discuss about the luminous efficiency. That one table I discussed on it, so based on it, so you can. So these all were the very basic questions may come at the time of exam. Okay, similar type of questions may come. Okay, so I think some discussions, if you want for any discussion, so we can go discuss about it. Otherwise we can conclude today's module. Means basically illumination we have completed. So in this chapter I have already discussed about different definitions. Okay, different relations between different terminologies of the illuminations. Okay, what are the importance of the illumination, why it is important, how we are going to implement that illuminations. Okay, then different numerical problems, different applications. Okay, that everything I have been discussed. Okay, and it's a very informative and very good chapters. If you follow this means theory of any of the standard books, as well as if you are able to solve some numerical problems. Okay, so you can get some confidence how to solve the numerical problem at the time of exam. Okay, that will give you more help on it. Okay, so I think you are able to understand all those questions. If you have any kinds of difficulties, you can ask me, or you can give me the any you can note it down in the chat box, so we can also discuss sometimes. Okay, so so we can conclude today's session right now. Basically that module has been completed, so we can conclude that session here. Okay, so thank you.